No one knew he was alive. Not his enemies, not his neighbors, not even the soldiers who were searching every single house for years. He existed without existing, hidden, silent, invisible. This is the true story of the man who survived an entire war without ever being seen. The war had already taken everything from him: his home, his family, entire cities turned to dust. And for him, there was only one certainty: if they found him, he would be killed. No trial, no mercy, no second chance. So he made a decision that would change his life forever. He disappeared. At night, while bombs shook the ground and sirens blared, he crawled into a space no human was ever meant to live in. A hole. It was cold. It was dark. There was barely enough air to breathe. And that tiny, suffocating hole became his entire world. The days passed, blurring into weeks, and then into months. Outside, the war raged on, a symphony of destruction. But inside his tiny prison, silence became his only companion. There was no sunlight, no fresh air, no human voice to break the quiet. Only a constant, suffocating fear. Every single sound was a potential death sentence. The sound of footsteps just above his head, a door slamming somewhere in the house, voices shouting in the street. Each noise could be the very last thing he ever heard. So he trained himself not to move, not to cough, not to cry. He even learned how to breathe so softly that he was practically silent. He conditioned himself to exist without leaving a single trace. Food was a constant, gnawing problem. He survived on scraps, on crumbs, on whatever tiny morsel he could steal without being noticed. And sometimes there was nothing at all. Hunger twisted his body into knots. Weakness blurred his vision until the darkness seemed to swim. But he knew with absolute certainty that going outside meant death. So he stayed hidden. As the months turned into years, something strange began to happen. The world above seemed to forget he ever existed. But he didn't forget the world. He couldn't. He memorized every sound, every routine, every pattern of danger. The war had taught him one brutal, unforgiving rule: survival belongs to the invisible. There were moments, of course, when he almost gave up. Moments when the crushing loneliness felt even worse than the fear. He started talking to himself, just to remember what a human voice sounded like, even if it was only his own. Sometimes he'd lie in the dark and wonder if anyone, anywhere, still remembered his name. Had he been completely erased? Then, one day, the sounds changed. The usual cacophony of war was gone. No more explosions shaking the earth. No more shouting in the streets. No more heavy boots marching just above him. There was only silence. But it was a different kind of silence. One he hadn't heard in years. Days passed. Nothing happened. And for the first time in what felt like an eternity, the iron grip of fear slowly began to release him. He held his breath, listening, waiting. And then he heard the words. Words he never thought he would hear again. The war is over. When he finally emerged from his hole, his body was a wreck. He was weak, emaciated. His eyes burned from the sudden, blinding light of a sun he hadn't seen in years. He looked around and saw a world that had moved on without him. People stared as he stumbled through the streets. They must have thought they were seeing a ghost, a specter from a past they were already trying to forget. He had survived what thousands, even millions, did not. Not with weapons, not with power or influence, but with patience, with silence, and with an unbreakable, almost inhuman will to live. His story teaches us something uncomfortable, something we don't often want to admit. Sometimes survival isn't about fighting back. It's about enduring. It's about waiting, hiding, and refusing to disappear even when the entire world is trying to erase you. Because even in the darkest of times, the strongest force in the universe is the simple, primal will to survive. And somewhere out there, right now, someone is fighting a battle no one else can see. They are enduring their own private war, hidden in plain sight. If this story moved you, please share it, because it's a powerful reminder that the hidden forces, the unseen struggles, are often the ones that truly change history. Thanks for watching!